So we're around about halfway through the summer. It seems a good time to catch up with the Cardiff Devils coaching team, Pete Russell and Euan King. Gentlemen, how are you? You're both looking healthy. Probably Euan slightly more healthy. How's your summer going so far?
Yeah, it's good. It's good to be home with my family, and the grass has got greener. So yeah, it's been great. Get to see people again, coming down here once a week. Yeah, it's been good. Really good.
And Euan, you're looking very tanned. Life is good on that, Penarth Pier.
Yeah. Spend a lot of time in the garden with the kids, and just enjoying the summer and coming down every couple of weeks and dealing with Pete on the phone every day is fun. But yeah, looking forward to when it finally all gets going again.
So we're getting closer to that. We're around about 2 months off from pre-season, and the team is taking shape. Let us behind the curtain a little bit. How has recruiting gone? Has it been smooth? Has there been bumps in the road? Has it been your typical summer? How are things going right now on the recruiting front?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously, we lost a couple of guys. When I came, I said there would be changes. We'd look to try and keep what we wanted to keep if we could. We retained some good players. They'll find out about them more. There's already good players been announced. I think we've added some quality on top of the quality we already have. And the team's full now. So Todd's been great. You know, he's been backing us, and it's been quite an easy process so far. Players seem to want to come to Cardiff. So I hear they ask around, and there's nothing but good things to say. So I think we've been pretty lucky in recruitment on paper.
Euan, let me kind of ask you to take us behind the curtain a little bit. Pete's obviously a strong character. Todd's involved in recruiting. He's a strong character. Neil Francis, you've come into that dynamic. How have you seen that collective collaboration working?
Yeah, I think it's worked really, really well. It's three strong characters who will all stand up for what they believe in. But at the end of the day, they all have the same objective, right? Which is to make the Cardiff Devils successful again. So I'm sure there's been a few disagreements and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, everyone has the same objective at the end, which is the Cardiff Devils winning trophies again.
Collective collaboration, that's a phrase I'm going to use again. Pete, you talked when we spoke about 6 weeks ago about an identity of this team. From the players that we've announced so far, to your mind, obviously they fit into your identity. What can you tell us about some of the recruits, the new guys that you've brought in that maybe the fans haven't seen as yet, only the clips on video and looking at elite prospects?
I think firstly they're all good people. All the reports we got, Franny and I dug around a bit, and they're good people. I think they're 200 feet players. Quite a few of them have skill level as well. We've had a little bit more grit as well in certain areas. And I think we tried to probably develop the team more in the middle part. I think everybody knows how good that top line was last year. The fourth line guys done an unbelievable job, and I think we've tried to innovate the defence a little bit as well. I think that was important. So we've tried to add probably a little bit of mobility back there, a little bit more. There's a couple of bit of size in there as well, not the old-fashioned size. The game's changed, guys that will compete hard, but guys that can play as well. I think that's important for the way we're going to play.
And I ask this of both of you. I suppose it is important to recognise the game has changed. And I know some people don't like that, and you're going to try and create that culture of hard-nosed hockey, but it is a faster game now. It is I guess, a puck possession, but move the puck kind of game. That's fair to say?
For sure. I think hockey in a whole, everywhere's innovating. I guess the rules changed a long time ago with the neutral zone. Now it's really coming to fruit. People learn how to use it better, and the players that are coming through are different. But I think we want a team that plays with good tempo, but a team that's gritty as well. I think the days of just guys getting out there and hammering each other is over, but we want to be an aggressive team, whether it's on a stick or it's finishing with skin on someone in the body, for sure. But I think the days of a Brad Voth and everything, that Fitzgerald, I think they're kind of gone a little bit. We've got that in a different way, I think, this year. I think we got guys that will stick up for each other in a different way, and I think that's important team toughness.
You concur with that, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. Like the game has evolved quite a bit over the last 5 to 10 years, and it is all now speed and skill, and the physicality is still there, but the olden days of having 4 or 5 tough guys out there slugging it out every night doesn't really happen as much. And from a goalie's perspective, the way I look at it now is the game is so fast laterally and everything that comes into that I think the game's a lot more exciting for fans to watch now. There's a lot more goals, which sucks for my job. But also it makes it way more fun to watch, I think.
So let's go with you on the goaltending, Euan. We haven't announced our netminders as yet, but as Peter's alluded to, the roster's pretty much complete. The input you've had, and without naming names, what you've been looking for, or what feedback you've been giving in terms of netminder recruitment?
Yeah, we've looked at a fair few. It's been a lot of fun for me. I love watching goalies, as people probably have figured out by now. But the way that Pete plays and his system and stuff like that, we need someone that's big, that can play one in traffic, make key saves at key times for us. Has to be pretty good at handling the puck at times too, because the way that we want to transition from defense to offense as fast as we possibly can. So it's sort of a checklist that we've been going through to make sure that we bring in the right guys, which are going to help us be successful.
Pete, one guy I want to ask you about, because of course, when we announce players, all of us are looking at resumes and video. But I was really intrigued with Ryan Barrow. I was speaking to him last week, a guy that could be maybe an under-the-radar player, but he was going point-to-game in Manchester, speaks very well, intelligent guy. I've heard reports, good net front presence. So maybe not an absolute marquee signing, but there's reasons to be excited about him.
Yeah, he's good quality. He came from a great program, champion. Came into this league last year in Manchester. And, I think when you think of his interview, I watched it, he talked about how he was more of a power forward type and how in this league he said he could use skill more. Though the ice is bigger for one, so he gets that, but I don't want him to change as the power forward type. I think he's a 200 feet guy. I think he's responsible. I think his hockey IQ is really good. He makes good decisions and he plays inside offensively. And I think that's the important thing that we have to be. We must have people in each line that are willing to play in those areas, because if you play in the perimeter, they're not going to be dangerous enough. So we must be willing to play inside offense when it happens. And I think Ryan's going to add that. He's good in the bumper or the net front and the power play as well. I think he's a really good hockey player. I think he's a great addition.
So the reason I asked you specifically about Ryan Barrow, and I'll come to you both on this again, as a hockey nerd, we're all trying to work out lines and combinations at the moment. Ryan Barrow, maybe a guy who plays down the lines, can move up. Let's ask the two people who are actually involved. Do you have ideas of your set lines at the moment, or is that what training camp is for?
Not for sure. But I think we have competition in the lineup. So I always think that when you have your blocks, that somebody should be able to push somebody else into another line. I think we have that. I think we have, looking through the lineup, I think we've signed 2 really good centres already. We've got some returning guys coming back as well. I think we've added some real quality in between it. And I think in the third line, we're going to have another really good centre as well. Strong player, strong in face-offs. He's got a lot more size. And I think that you must be able to move things around, because it doesn't always work. Some nights you just have to make a little flip just to get what you want. And I think the way we put the team together, I think we have that. I think we have enough to create, people have to understand when you've got want to create accountability in a culture, you need competition. I think we've got competition that keeps everybody on their toes and everybody coming each day to the rink, want to come, but want to battle to get into the spot they want to be in. So answer to that is they'll decide where they're going to play.
And competition, Euan, in any sport and in any facet of a hockey team, and again, coming to you particularly on the netminding, you're going to go with 2, 1As probably next year. Competition is a good day.
Yeah, 100%. Like, goalies sometimes get a bit of an easy ride at times, I think. But they have to be just as accountable as everybody else on the ice. And they have to understand that if they don't perform, then there's somebody else waiting to take their spot. And I'm hoping the 2 guys that we have will get on really, really well. I have no doubt they will. They'll both push each other hard in practice and for game time. But they'll both be supportive of each other. And I just think goalies now, you can't have a goalie that plays 54 games. It doesn't happen. It doesn't exist anymore. We need 2 guys that can battle it out, and let's see who takes the reins and runs with it.
We haven't announced this guy as yet, but I think this interview is going to go out afterwards, so we can talk about him. Cole Sanford is back, and he was an elite goal scorer last year, and everyone's trying to find that elite goal scorer. It's his 3rd year now. Can he push on to another level? What do you like about his game, Pete?
I think he competes. The first thing for a smallish body, He really competes. You know, he's good in the full check. He's got good speed. He's tenacious, and he's got a great shot. You know, I think he can finish. You know, he kind of reminds me. And people remember him. The way he scores a lot of goals reminds me of Doucet a little bit. He's got that. It's not the perfect shot every time, but he finds a way to find a hole in the net. You know, he shoots for space. I just love his compete level. Like, I watched his team last year a lot, and I just liked him. I just thought he'd done a lot for the team. I thought his defensive game improved last year as well. He put a lot of effort into it. And when I've talked to him, you know, he's been fantastic. You know, he had a lot of interest elsewhere, and he likes Cardiff. You know, and another guy I said at the start, he likes Cardiff, and we're delighted to have him back because he's a quality player. He's a game changer. You know, in small moments, he changes a game in 2 shots. You know, that's the type of player he is. But he's got a lot more to his game than that. Maybe we see Stanley killing penalties this year as well.
So, just a little bit of a follow-up on that, because I interviewed him yesterday and I did ask him about options. He must have had options after the season he just had. Again, take us behind the coaching process. Was it a sales job? You know, obviously Cardiff, he's enjoyed Cardiff. Cardiff's a great hockey club, but how hard did you guys have to work to get him back?
Yeah, I spoke to him, maybe 30 minutes. We talked on the phone. Probably I talked more than him, I would imagine. Conversation opened up. It was good after he warmed up, and I just sold him what I'm trying to do here and we're trying to do as a club with Franny and Todd and everybody else. And he loved it here. That really wasn't the sell. We talked about his game, what he would want more of. And the funny thing was, his one comment was, I want to kill penalties. And I said, well, if you're willing to get in shooting lanes and buy into the structure, you can kill penalties if you want. You know, and it's like, he wanted, and I loved that. Like, that comment, that it wasn't, he was like, I want to be in the PP longer, I want to play with this guy. It was like, I really just want to kill penalties as well. And I just think that shows the hunger he's got to be on the ice as much as he can. And when a top player, that's what you want from a top player, the guy that wants to play in every situation and wants the responsibility to fall on his head.
And Euan, speaking from a netminder's perspective, Pete talks about the shot there of Sanford. I remember he scored a wicked goal in Belfast, overtime winner on the power play. When he gets it off, it is tough for a netminder to say.
Yeah, he has a very deceptive release. But what I will say as well about Sani was, last year when I came in, he used to come and shoot for me on goalie ice. And that's always a really, really good sign, because the good goal scorers take part in goalie practice, because they can reverse engineer what goalies are doing, trying to figure out what we're trying to work on and how to beat it and stuff like that. So that to me showed he was somebody that was determined to get better. Wasn't comfortable just scoring 25, 30 goals a year. How can I score 35, 40? And my guess is when we start practicing in training camp, Sani will be out shooting again for goalie practice and trying to get better every time. So, to have him back and hopefully on my goalie practices will be a benefit for both him and the goalies.
So I promised Todd and Katrina I'll keep this short. So there's 2 more, and then I'll let you go. But hopefully we'll do this a lot more as the season goes on. And I like to learn about hockey and really want to learn from you guys. I was with Sam Duggan the other day, and he was talking about how he really enjoys playing in your system, Pete, in the defensive zone, because it's not too passive. You know, it's aggressive. It's trying to win the puck back. It's maybe, committing players. And he was talking about it with a smile on his face. Is that the sort of thing the Devils fans should be looking for, that you're going to be aggressive all over the ice?
For sure. And again, aggressive doesn't mean we're going to go and hammer people over the ice. It means we're going to be tenacious and we're going to outnumber as much as we can, and I think you watch sport, rugby in Wales, everything's about that first duel and then who's coming in next, second, first. And I think for us, defensively, it's going to be a 5-man unit all over the ice. We want to be as aggressive as we can most of the time. I think that's important. But especially in the D zone, there's a way that I've kind of started playing, and I think people see it in the national team, and it's very aggressive, super aggressive. It's about ending plays fast and getting the puck as quick as we can, and then there's 5 guys playing as soon as we get it, and it's going to take time. You don't turn up in 2 weeks of pre-season and everything's just there. It's going to take a little bit of patience. But when it comes together, it's good, it's fluid, and I think that's what we want to become. We want to become a team that makes it uncomfortable for other teams, gives them no time. We take their time away and then the skill level goes down. And that's what we want to make sure we get good at, with the small details in it.
And you, and I feel bad just coming to you from the netminder's perspective. But again, when I was hearing that, it sounds great. From a netminder, do they like that? Does the not overcommitting, but does the over-aggressive or aggressive play sometimes, open up spaces for shooters? How does a netminder feel about that?
To be honest, as a coach, I love it, and most of the goalies love it too. The break points are pretty minimal, and if everything works to plan, we shouldn't really give up many high danger chances. So from a goalie's perspective, if everything works out pretty well, it works really well for the goalies. It makes their life easier. And I think the biggest compliment you can give to the way the D-zone system works is if you look at the way GB has played at the World Championships in the Pool A, we don't actually give up a lot of chances, especially like last year in Finland. Just because the D-zone basically ends play so quick, and you give good players time on the puck, they're going to create chances. So the whole system is designed around giving as little time as possible, ending the players as fast as you possibly can, and being able to transition from defense to offense. And yeah, from a goalie's perspective, when it all works, it's pretty fun to play in.
Seriously, I could do this for 3 hours, so I hope we do get to talk a lot more during the season, but I will just go with the final one. I think as we stand today, it's 60 days, 60 nights until the preseason opener on the 26th of August. What do the next 60 days look like? It sounds like recruitment is, that box has been ticked. Is it more preparation? Is it a holiday? What have you guys got in store for the next 60 days?
Yeah, I think there's still some preparation to just change teaching video to Cardiff, where it was from Ravensburg and the national team, into the Cardiff logos and stuff. And I think it's, like I'm going on holiday for the first time in 5 years with my wife and daughter, which is pretty cool. So we're going to go away at the end of July and come back, and can't wait to get going. It goes pretty quick. It's been a quick summer, but I'm looking forward to getting going again. Missing hockey a little bit just now. I think my wife would tell you as well, I need hockey in my life. It's an addiction, and I'm looking forward to the new challenge. I think it's a great responsibility and a great challenge, and Todd and Franny and everybody and the owners have been brilliant. So I'm just looking forward to seeing the team we signed on the ice and see it come together. I think that's the best part of coaching, is when that comes and you hit the ice and you work together and you see the culture growing and you see the team coming together, you see guys wanting to win, and I think that's the big thing. We just want to make sure that we get into that mentality as quick as we can and start enjoying ourselves again.
That sounds pretty good, and we look forward to enjoying ourselves. Euan, you said to me off camera, maybe trying to get on the golf course a little bit before the season starts?
Yeah, try to. Haven't really had much chance for the time being, but yeah, just enjoying spending time with my family and my 3 daughters, and doing my hockey schools and doing video a lot at the moment, trying to get everything, like Pete said, prepared for pre-season. And yeah, I'm very similar. Like my wife gets a bit frustrated with me at times, I think, because if I've got nothing to do, I just get in her way. So anytime I can literally sit down on my laptop and do something hockey related, I'm pretty happy. So yeah, just looking forward for 60 days, I think you said, until our first game. 61, sorry.
Small details.
I'll make sure. So yeah, 61 days, and then back going again, which will be fun.
Guys, I hope we'll do this before the season starts. I know there's some fan events planned and what have you, but for the time being, really great to catch up, and enjoy the next few weeks.